no, I don't work Friday nights or I don't work Saturdays. It's like saying,
I think that's setting boundaries and they're valuing a work-life balance.
Like saying, Gen Z have been brought up, they've been protected, they've been, in some cases, mollycoddled. And only through adversity do you get some kind of backbone, some kind of resilience and a work ethic. I'd just like to finish, if that's all right, Adjoa. And I think
you're criticising Adjoa's generation. It's only fair that she steps up.
That's absolutely fine by me, and I would like to finish my point. I'm saying it's not that generation's fault. It's the fact that they have been brought up to feel entitled to feel that anybody can do anything, which is patently not true.
But anybody can do anything, and I think that the Gen Z generation have a sense of innovation, they have a sense of efficiency.
You know, where's your evidence that Adjoa's generation is this entitled generation that hasn't had the adversity?
Many business leaders have spoken about the difficulty.
Which ones?
I can't name them, but there are many of them.
But have you had experience?
I don't have personal experience because I am not that generation. But I'm saying
what have they said?
They have said it's almost impossible to find people, to find staff, because
I think that's wrong. I think the Gen Z generation are suffering from unemployment. They're suffering from the amount of jobs that are available are dropping.
Because
they're becoming more innovative. They're finding more avenues to find the jobs.
They are making demands. Instead of going for an interview for a job and saying, you know, what are the conditions of the job, and saying, yes, I can take this.
So a lot of stuff that I want to talk about here. I mean, first of all people can do everything, okay? I think that the black girl said that. I disagree. I don't think most people, or every single person can do every single job. Second of all, there's nothing wrong with critiquing a whole generation. I mean, freedom of speech, right? First Amendment. It's in your guys', First Amendment, U.S. laws, right? You can critique a whole generation, but also you should accept that every single other person can critique you because you're critiquing a whole generation. That's how it works. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what this woman is saying. Bosses complaining that they can find the perfect person for the job. So I'm 23, I'm Gen Z, and I work in tech. I'm a software engineer, and I've been working as a software engineer for like a year and almost 2 months. And let me tell you, it can be pretty demoralizing and demotivating the way they treat me. I don't want to mention the company. If they watch this video and I get fired, I don't freaking care, okay? I don't care, because if I work at McDonald's, I'm gonna be paid the same way, sadly. So I am one of the unlucky ones that I ended up, I'm working for a minimal wage, and I have a year and 2 months of experience. And most people that are in internships in tech in my country, where I come from, Southeastern Europe, they make almost double than I make on internships. Or maybe not on internships, but after the internship, after they're officially in like 2-3 months employed in that company, they're making more than me. So I got pretty unlucky, and sadly most companies where I'm from are this way, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more and more companies that are doing this. But people complaining, bosses complaining that they can't find the right fit. Bosses, what is this woman talking about? There's so many people, especially now, again, I'm talking about the tech industry right now. There's so many people, Gen Zers obviously, that want to get into tech, working hard, struggling and stuff, trying to get into. There's not enough jobs. There's not enough freaking jobs. I see a job post of whatever, tech, service job, whatever, on LinkedIn, for example. A day or two passes, immediately hundreds of freaking applications. It's like, it's so demoralizing and demotivating. And if you end up like me, working in an industry that's known for, good paychecks and stuff, and I am treated pretty, well, I am not treated badly. My managers aren't that bad, really. My employees as well, my coworkers as well, pretty cool people. But the pay is shite, and the company is just trying to fish out needy people that need a job desperately, and they would, and I needed a job desperately back then because I wanted to, get some experience in the tech industry. But then guess what? I ended up in a company that used me and my neediness for, desperately needing a job. they used me, and now I mean, I have a year and 2 months of experience, which again, if you're a software engineer, you know that's not a lot of experience. But you should be able to find a second freaking job that's at least above minimum wage in your country when you have a year and a few months of a freaking experience, right? Sadly, I'm struggling. I'm trying to find another company, but so far, no luck. And well, people being lazy because they are paid less, but also people, Gen Zers in this case, being lazy because, well, look at the world. Like, when my grandfather, when he was my age, he just needed to work at a normal factory for 5 years, and guess what? Car, house, he is ready and set to go on vacations, to have a house, to have a car, to start a freaking family, to have a kid. You know what I'm gonna have in 5 years of working in a factory? I'll just be poorer. Why? Because if 10 eggs cost $2, where I come from, in 5 years they're gonna cost $3 or $3.50. And guess what? You know how much the minimum wage is gonna be? Barely above that. It's gonna be disgraceful. So when you're thinking about the world economy and inflation and stuff, and you're not seeing it stop, you're not seeing it reset itself, right? Like, we are gonna be the generation, and Gen Alpha as well, we're gonna be the generations that'll have to suffer through this inflammation of prices and everything, and we not being able to live a normal freaking life because everything is so freaking expensive, and it's so much harder to build a huge company, successful company, business, corporation, because most of the companies, if you can realize, 90% of the biggest companies that are dominating the world, like the top 1% of the biggest companies, 90% of them are from the early 2000s or even before that, when, you know, the world started becoming more and more, you know, of a democracy, of a capitalism. No, I'm not hating on capitalism, okay? I'm not a freaking communist. Freaking communism. I hate that shit. If we're being honest, we've been dealt a very effed up hand. When you're thinking of it in this way, it makes sense why they're like demotivated and stuff, and you know, they wanna, like, we already know that we're gonna work for 10 freaking years and we'll still not be able to buy a freaking house. But that's why we're at least asking, can I at least have a decent enough of pay that I can not worry about, you know, the bills and rent and freaking groceries. But also, that's why we're asking for more of a, you know, job that lets us live a little. And when I say live a little, I don't mean that we're not gonna work. I mean by, let me get a remote job, or let it be more flexible, hybrid at least, right? Like, we're looking and trying to find some more perks and benefits, you know, paid food at the company or whatever, right? Because we already know I'm gonna work for 20 years, and most of us, we're still not gonna be able to buy a freaking 1-bedroom apartment. It's that freaking crazy. And secondly, after I've said all of this, most people that I see my age, younger, a little bit older, Gen Z people that are, you know, getting into jobs, I'm not seeing them being lazy. Like, trust me, I understand if they say I'm demotivated and I just can't go on. If I get employed in a freaking casino, I'm gonna make more money in a casino than someone who finished college and now is working in a bank or a marketing agency or whatever. Like, what? Again, my case, in my software job, I'm kind of sadly an outlier, and most software jobs, especially in the West, and trust me, there's a lot of people that are way more, well, not way more, but like they have like 2-3 years of experience from Eastern Europe, so from Southeastern Europe, and they're working for Western companies remotely, and they're making like a wage that's like normal for like France or the US or Canada, and they live in like Bulgaria or North Macedonia. But it's freaking hard to get those jobs, okay? It's not normal to get a job like that easily. There's like millions, trust me, millions of people applying for those kinds of remote jobs from Western companies. And all these people are from Africa, the Eastern or parts of Southern Europe, or freaking Asia or whatever, you know, South America, just generally from countries that are, you know, poor, and they want to work for a minimum wage US job is like being in the top 1 freaking percent in my country, okay? It's not easy to get that job. It's not. But most people that I'm seeing my age in where I live and getting into tech jobs, in my case, they're not lazy. None of them have said. I've with some of my friends, I haven't seen them for a while, especially the ones that are just starting their careers in, marketing and banking, software stuff, whatever, right? Medicine. They're like grinding even on the weekends to, learn more and, climb the corporate ladder even more as early as possible. And then maybe after they can like chill out a little bit. I haven't seen lazy people like this. So there's a new term called taskmasking, and I'm seeing a lot of people on TikTok talk about this. So let's hear a girl talk about this.
I can't help you not go into the office, but I can help you with one thing up here. Gen Z is apparently task masking, and this essentially means like, okay, yeah, I'll go into the office, but I'm just going to pretend to work instead of actually work. And Forbes and all these news outlets are like, bad, 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 crazy, crazy Gen Z. Let me tell you something. Every person in the history of going into the office is doing this. I have a more prescriptive and fancier way to explain this. I talk about this a lot in my 30-day Lazy Girl Job Challenge, which you can always access on my Substack, called strategic disengagement. You are disengaging from something strategically because it doesn't actually move the needle in your job. I spend the mental dollars and the energy dollars on it if it's not actually moving the needle in your career. Strategic disengagement can look like not going to happy hours. That's what I did, right? So I don't drink. And so when I was in corporate America, there's no point in me going to a happy hour, especially if people are drinking a lot, because they're not gonna remember the interaction with me. And also I'm not drinking. It adds this weird like social thing with people where they're like, oh, like what's your drink? What are you gonna have? To make up stupid things like, oh, I have yoga after this, I'm not gonna drink. It's just not like a meaningful interaction for me. So why go to it? And if it's not like paid, it's not mandatory, I'm gonna strategically disengage from that and not go, and then I can use that time on what I did at that time, my side hustle, which I now do full time, as being a TikToker. Another example of strategic disengagement, of course, is task masking, pretending to work and like opening your thing and being like click, 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 and then someone walks by and you put your headphones in and you look like you're on a meeting and you're like very busy. It's all show, it's all performance.
I mean, trust me, even I've done this a few times. Of some of the managers or some employees, my colleagues coming to our office, and I didn't really have any tasks to do that day, because again, this isn't a good company, and my tasks are like very unmanaged. It's like scattered all around. It's like so horribly managed. But that day I was just at my job for no reason, which is making me mad because I'm wasting my time in a tech company that's horrible. I'm not learning anything. I am paid minimal wage. The tasks are all over the place. Sometimes I have tasks, sometimes I don't really have tasks. And I'm like, I have a year and a few months of experience, but I have the knowledge of someone who has only worked for like 6 months because of this freaking company. And I should be studying. Well, no, I have a second, well, it's not a job, it's a side hustle. It is freelancing. And yeah, it is connected with software development. I do freelance on the side, but it's not that easy to find clients, okay? A lot of the time, I spend more time trying to reach and find clients than actually working for clients. Recently, it's been getting better and better in the last few months, but it's not freaking easy, okay? And I have to learn on the freaking project on what to do a lot of the times. And a lot of the times, when I'm basically not busy and I don't have any shit to do at my job, guess what? I work on the side project on my client. Or I try to find clients from platforms like Upwork or LinkedIn, whatever, right? Yeah, I totally understand this girl. Again, I haven't really seen a lot of people thinking about this stuff. I haven't really seen a lot of people my age, and especially a lot of my friends. They are very, very thrilled about, if they got a job, they're actually, passionate about like medicine or software, whatever. They are like pretty on spot with working and, being on time and stuff. And these people on these videos, maybe they're just going crazy over dumb stuff. Tell me what you guys think. What is your experience? I'm making this video because I am the only outlier that has been in this kind of situation for what I've already explained, for those reasons. But a lot of people around me, they have the problem of not being able to find a job, not the problem of them being bored at the job. I mean, if you're bored at your job and it's like a normal service job, just F it, try and find a new one, right? But if you're in a job where, you know, it should be, you know, more bright looking for the future, like for example me, you know, working in tech, and you're in a slum of a company, like the goobers, the owners of the company are basically some dumb goobers that don't want to work with any new clients and are freaking lazy, and you know what I mean. It's demotivating. And what are you gonna do when you have no tasks, like for half of the week, and you're just spending your time in the company, not learning any new technologies, and just wasting your time for minimal freaking wage in a tech job with a year and a few months of experience, and you're seeing people with 3 months of experience in their first job making more than you, because nobody starts with minimal wage in tech. Anyways, that's about it. I can ramble on for so many stuff about this topic. I don't want to make this video freaking 2 hours long. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Should I make another longer video on this and, you know, explain the struggles and maybe talk with a few people? And I have friends in the US, maybe talk with them and talk with other people around Europe and actually see what, you know, reality is, and if they're actually being lazy or they're just like, you know, not able to find a good freaking job. And even if they do find a good job, we already know what the economy is right now, right? We already know that we're the generation that has to suffer through this, and hope that eventually the system is going to reset itself, because even people that are high earners aren't freaking able to buy a home or a car, or aren't able to go through life normally and have a family and stuff, and we're supposed to be motivated and happy and content, and at least I can buy one chocolate bar a day. That's it. Have a nice day, and I hope you can freaking survive in this economy.